Welcome to the Best of US ETF Tracker Chart Review. I'm going to review 13 of the top scoring ETFs that we track. So let's get to it. First up on our list is XLF, which is the financial ETF. There are a handful of things I'm going to hit upon: simple moving averages, MACD, slow stochastic, RSI, and Bollinger Bands. I'm going to give you some commentary on each one. I'm going to try to make it quick so I don't bore you to death. So let's get going. First off is XLF. What we are seeing is we're above the 200, the 50, the 20, and the 9. Since November 14th, we have seen XLF basically ride the 9-day. It sort of took off last Wednesday after the Fed Powell interest rate no hike, just hold still, and it's hints at potentially lowering rates next year, which would actually indicate a bad thing, by the way. So we had a bust up. It broke above the Bollinger Band, came back and settled down on Friday and today as well. The MACD here is looking low, or excuse me, the slow stochastic has turned lower in the last 2 days. The MACD is narrowing, and looks like the histogram is also looking more towards the zero line. And of course, the RSI is down as well. So this is one, even though it is meeting our basic criteria, this is one that I believe is starting to show some wear and tear since its move up since November 14th or so. So I'd be cautious about where my entry point on this is, but I would look at possibly the 9-day. If it holds there, chances are, as we can see historically, it has ridden that 9-period moving average. Let's go to XLK, which is the technology ETF, and it's been on fire all year. We did see, a breakout, a bust through, or a big candle on November 10th. It then gapped up here, so we always believe gaps will be filled at some point. Rode it, broke through the 9, held at the 20, and then broke back through the 9, and has been hugging this top end of the Bollinger Band, and has pulled back and closed just right under it. So the question is, where is it going to head to? Well, according from what I'm seeing, the slow stochastic, the MACD, and well, in those two in particular, they're both sort of neutral and sort of looks like you could see a rollover at some point in time. The RSI is above 70, so that's still positive. I just think there's a lot of breath that's not happening in the technology industry. It really comes down to a handful of companies: Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia. Those are your big ones that are moving markets, and so it's a bit. I'd be cautious here, is my thinking. XLC, which is the Communication Service Index, had a pretty sizable day today. Did close off its highs, but it is in that near the top of the Bollinger Band. The 9-day is crossing into over the 20, so that's a bit of a positive news there. But the slow stochastic, it's got a little bit of a it's hugging that top line there, and the MACD is breaking through as of today to the north, and RSI is headed to the north. So this could be a pretty good play. What I would want to see is continued movement upwards of the 9-day. You may see a pullback in the next day or two. If it holds above the 9, it would be something to consider building a position in, as long as you continue to see movement higher in the overall momentum of the stock. XLY is the consumer discretionary ETF. This thing busted out on Wednesday, of course. The Fed meeting busted on Thursday, went above the Bollinger Band, and has had narrow candle action here that could be indicating a slowing. Your slow stochastic down here is a little bit on the slower side. It's tight. It's going neutral. MACD still looks pretty good, and the RSI looks good. So I would look for a better entry point. To be honest, it would be a bounce off that 9-day, a close above, hit the 9-day, close above that the next day, and that would be something to consider from a standpoint of entry for a buy. XLI is the industrial ETF. Had a good day on Wednesday, of course, right? Busted above the top end of the Bollinger Band, but on Friday closed below that Bollinger Band and closed negative as well today. Slow stochastic is rolling over. The MACD looks like it could roll over. Remember, MACD is a slower acting indicator than, say, the slow stochastic. So you use, of course, your price movement, moving averages, slow stochastic, MACD, and strength, of course, which is RSI, which is actually turning south. So I'd be cautious of this. I would look for a bounce off the 9 as a potential entry point, as long as you get that, hit the 9, close above the 9, and then the next day close above that previous day close. That would be basically, in my opinion, a confirmation of potential higher movement. You don't get those, it's a no-go. Don't touch it. Semiconductor index, of course, bam, it's been on this ride since November 10th, Friday, November 10th. It gapped up on Tuesday, November 14th, moved sideways a bit, broke the 9, came down through the 20. This is cautionary, but broke above the 9 on the 8th of December and started moving higher. It has run out of steam as of Friday, and then a close below the top of the Bollinger Band. I would look for a pullback to the 9 as a potential, if it can hold there and then close above the next day, above the 9 or above the previous day's close, you could be a good entry point. But the MACD is starting to roll. The RSI is rolling over. Chances are we'll see the MACD do the same in the next couple of days. I think this technology sector in general has been on such a run, it's starting to lose steam. So I'd look for pullbacks as entry points, but I'd be tight with my stops just in case of risk. KRE is the regional banking index. It gapped up on the Wednesday, it took off, gapped up on Thursday. That gap is getting filled, it looks like, as of today. The slow stochastic is rolling over. The MACD looks like it's showing signs of maybe weakening a little bit. And of course, the RSI is definitely going to punch south below that 70 mark. And so what I would consider is that, this could be a pullback to the 9, kind of thing, or it could be a sign of weakening. I'm not a big fan of banks right now. I have a whole belief that something's going to come in the next 18 months or so with banks. So I'd be cautious here. EWJ is the Japanese ETF. It is hugging that 20, closed below the 9 today, the last basically 2 days. Yeah, closed below the 9, or today it's bounced off the 20. And the MACD, or the slow stochastic, is rolling over. The MACD is rolling over. RSI is rolling over. I think you're losing steam in Japan. So I think you're going to see this thing go towards the 50 at some point. And that could be support. Looks like there's has been resistance here in the past, a breakout above. There's a gap. Do gaps fit? Will this be a gap that gets filled? That could be one of those things. So something to be cautious about, but I think there's possibly a better opportunity in this in the near future. EWZ is the Brazilian ETF. This thing is closed above its Bollinger Band, closed above the 9, the 20, the 50, and the 200. But yet the slow stochastic is starting to roll over. So is this thing losing steam? Potentially. The MACD looked like it sort of punched through upwards toward the north side and on the positive side on the histogram. So this could be something, but I would look for a potential better buying opportunity, price point to buy this thing. And I would just be cautious, of course. RSI is going towards the 70 mark, which is positive. So there's a lot of good positive things here, but I would look for potential move back, pull back a little bit, maybe towards the 9, and look for an entry point around there. Soybeans. This is one it's on a negative trend here. And it's something that closed above the short term, the 9, closed above the 50. It's gonna, see resistance at the 20. So we'll see there. Once again, I would say I would consider looking at a purchase at a close above the 20 in the near future. I think the stochastic is indicating a potential is moving higher, and the MACD, we still need to see some positive movement along with the RSI as well. So this could be on your watch list to look for the break in this trend here. Could be an opportunity. IAK, which is an insurance ETF, closed below the 20 on Friday, closed below the 20 today. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's better fish in the sea at this point. So something to take a look at, to watch, but just, it's had a nice nine period, 9-day simple moving average run, broke below it a couple times, but came back, but now it's below the 20, and I think it's probably losing steam a little bit. And then the MSI ACWI ETF, it's been, since November 14th, went higher, rode the 9, broke out on Wednesday, Fed meeting, and now you've got 3 days of really narrow sideways trading. The slow stochastic is rolling over. MACD is a little narrow or sideways really, and then the RSI still is above 70, more of a, sideways moving indicator. I would look for a better buying opportunity, which I think that's what this is telling us here, possibly back down around the 9. So something to look forward to, put on your watch list to watch out for. And then of course, we got SLK, which is steel ETF. Jump on Wednesday. Everything jumped on Wednesday. So that's a gap. And gaps the majority of the time get filled. It is above the top end of the Bollinger Band all 3 days. So that's Thursday, Friday, today. Boom. But volume was very negative. So something to watch there. So stochastic still above, still positive. MACD still positive. RSI looks like it's starting to roll. So I would look for this gap to be filled, a 9-day support. And if it bounces off the 9 and closes above the 9 and then closes again, I think there's opportunity there. So that's R13 that that we've gotten some good strong rankings on. I appreciate you watching the channel. Subscribe to Best of US Investors. We have the ETF tracker, dividend tracker, and of course our stellar platinum swing trading program, where we provide you Friday video call of Q&A, along with 3 different lists of different opportunities, the 200 below the 200-day moving average, the above the horizons list, and of course the watch list, which meets all of our criteria. These are great, a great service, along with Kerry's portfolio, Kerry's cheat sheet, debt analysis on the Bus 12 and Bus 13 stocks. We're focused on technology and AI. Hit the bestofusinvestors.com, go to the Platinum channel, subscribe, and become a tribe member. We look forward to seeing you soon. Peace. Live loud.